Welcome to the Growing Pair podcast, where we discuss anything to help you reflect, learn, and grow. Welcome your hosts, Isaac Goldfarb and James Edge.
James, episode 30. What a milestone.
It is. I think we had like a little pause at 15 and we were kind of discussing, excited for the next 15, and now we're here and it's just keep going and going and going. It's pretty cool.
If it's the first time you're here with us, welcome. But for those who are not the first time and enjoying our podcast, this is going to be our last episode of this season. James and I decided we enjoy this process, but we want to refine it better. And we want to come back after a short break with fresh ideas,
Bigger and
interesting
stronger.
topics, guests, whomever. And maybe you can help us as well and tell us what kind of content would you like to hear from us? Let us know by email. What is our email? Would you like to remind them?
thegrowingpair@gmail.com.
Or comments, or check our website, thegrowingpair.com. So what we're going to do today is we will discuss about reflection, the reflection tool as we use it a lot in our coaching practice, but also it's good to reflect back on where we were when we started it, where we are now, and what does it mean reflecting in general. So would you like to kick this off, James?
I like it. Well, obviously, as a life coach, love reflecting. I think it's a really good tool to help you build your self-awareness and kind of learn from experiences to then take into fresh new experiences with that knowledge and power that's going to help you in that situation. So really beneficial and do it daily.
How would you define reflection compared to daydreaming? Because sometimes you can just go off somewhere in your mind and you kind of look back at your life, or if it's a like recent past or back in the past, and it can bring sometimes emotions that are not necessarily welcome or making you feel any good. So how would you look at making the most of reflection?
Yeah, so I would specify it that I'm talking about self-reflection.
Yes,
So
self-reflection, yeah.
an event will happen and I will consciously say I'm going to self-reflect on that experience that just happened. Now, if something just randomly came into my head, and like you said, maybe you start going back into the way past and stuff like that, it's more almost unconscious decision to then start that reflection process. So for me, that's a little bit different. That's more kind of dealing with some sort of idea that comes into your head, whereas self-reflection for me is a conscious decision to reflect on something that's just happened. Or it doesn't have to be just happened, but you're making a conscious decision to reflect.
Right. So what you call in reflecting is, or self-reflection is
Yeah.
when you actively deciding of
Yeah.
doing it, while if your mind taking you somewhere, it's not necessarily a reflection. But I think the moments where your mind is taking you out almost unconsciously,
Yeah.
those are the places where you can actually learn more about yourself.
Yep.
It's almost like a technique to catch yourself doing it and then converting from it being non-conscious or subconscious to
Yeah.
conscious.
Yeah. And that's where I'd say it's more self-awareness. So let's say an idea came into my head from my past, something triggered me. It's more an awareness of where that emotion or that thought came from. Yeah, I guess you would kind of reflect on where that came from. But it's kind of different to say the process that I would do where I'm going to self-reflect on something specific. But yeah, I'd call that more like an awareness of what's come up, and it's linked with self-awareness, I think, being like, oh, I know, I understand why that's come into my head right now.
What would you advise to a client, or what would you, as a life coach, what would you ask a client when they do reflection and then suddenly some negative emotions are bubbling up?
Well, obviously, you're going to be sensitive to making the client feel comfortable. You know what's coming up for you now, kind of judging their reaction to what they're doing. And if you do ask that question or staying silent, pausing, maybe reassuring them, take a moment for this, and then kind of reconvene if they want to go deeper, I'd say, into that topic. Because I guess our goal is to focus forward looking as a life coach. However, we do go into the past to build out strengths or learnings that they can take into the future. So that would be a situation where, we'd probably have to take a intuition as to whether what we've hit here is something that is a blocker that we probably will need to address to be able to move forward, or whether it's something deeper, in which case maybe this isn't the right forum for it. So that's what initially went to my head there. What about you?
I would say to the client, as I would say to myself when it happens, what is it that they are learning about themselves at this moment? So when I am kind of self-reflecting subconsciously and then it becomes consciously, usually it becomes consciously when I'm asking myself, what am I learning about myself right now by
Mm,
thinking the way I'm thinking or by remembering this, or what is this specific event that comes to my mind teaching me
yeah.
in order to go forward?
I guess if because in my scenario there, I'd assume someone was getting upset, let's say, by something. It's kind of tough in that moment to be like, what am I learning from this? Because of all the emotions are kind of coming into you. So that's where it's kind of like a judgment call if you need to pause and just let them get out, or discuss it more and see what kind of questioning will work given how they're feeling. So yeah, it's a tricky one.
When we are doing it by ourselves and there is a negative emotions coming with it, again, it's a fantastic opportunity for us to grow. It's all part, as you said, rightly said, it's all part of the self-awareness process where
Hmm.
we require to be in control all the time in order to be self-aware. And if a negative emotions coming with it, don't judge yourself.
Yeah.
There is a reason why you feel the way you feel. And if you can overcome that first feeling of, oh, I'm being upset with myself because XYZ,
Hmm.
then open that door and ask yourself, what can I learn from
Mm.
this about myself?
When you were speaking there, I thought of something. When, say, we're self reflecting on a situation or an experience, it's interesting because it requires, I think, full self awareness to do it. Because let's say you're in a negative mood and you self reflect on something, you might kind of take a really harsh view of it, let's say, a very negative view in it, which might not be conducive to you learning something and moving forward from it. So I think it does require you need to be in the right state to get the best from that reflection
But
event.
isn't it finding the state, that understanding, acknowledging, okay, I am feeling a bit upset now.
Yeah.
Isn't it part of the process of becoming more self-aware? The thing is with being upset or negative or any negative emotion is like it's almost like it's taking control of ourselves. It's like you put some sort of a fog screen in front of your eyes and you can't see anything but your emotions or
Yeah.
low emotions or negative emotions, whatever you want to call it. And let's say you have an argument with a friend, loved ones,
Hmm.
whatever. If you can find yourself in that state of I'm being angry and you tell yourself, what am I angry about during, it will help you not necessarily resolve the issue that the argument happened, but it will help you to somehow tune your emotions instead of getting really, really upset quite quickly and actually, oh, you can
Mm.
reduce that heat.
And I think in those moments, I think what may be tough is to kind of get your head to snap out of it and realize, okay, I'm gonna just be aware of the way I'm acting right now, because sometimes you just carry on in that emotional state because it's so strong. You kind of need some sort of practice doing that to be able to do it, which
And
can be
that's
tough.
what I think walking when you are not in that set of negative emotions, when you are walking with a coach or doing
Mm-hmm.
self-reflection, that's why the power of reflecting is really, really strong. Because the more you do it,
Yeah.
the more you get better in it. And then you can kind of catching yourself in those moments
Yeah.
in a better way.
Can be subconscious even. Yeah.
That was really, really nice to talk about reflection. So let's do a bit of reflecting on our last
Yes.
15 episode, or maybe even since our beginning of this journey, because I feel a bit sad though, I have to say, because yes, it's like
Yeah.
an ending. We're not ending the show will be back, we are back, but
Yeah.
we're kind of doing a pause,
Yeah.
and it's like a break, it's like stop for something that we
Yeah.
both enjoy, and it's quite sad. So I'm reflecting on that, I'm feeling a bit sad.
Yeah.
uh, but at the same time, for those who didn't know the whole history, the growing pair started with a different partner, which we recorded only 3 episodes, and then it stopped for whatever reason, and then it took me a few months to find James, and then we restarted this initiative of the growing pair. So I'm grateful that you joined me to that journey, and that's what I can reflect straight away.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It's obviously been a great journey. I think our second season, which technically it's been 15 to 30 in the episode list. We've had some great guests, which is really cool. I think that moved on from the first time, which was really cool to see. And our relationship has grown as well. And now for other people, our relationship is now we're trying to do things together in other parts away from the podcast, which is really cool. So this is, one of the reasons why we've been able to build other stuff as well, because you build that connection, you become more of a partner as well. And I think what I like is that we're good at asking questions to another person, because Isaac and me now can kind of get the vibe of when the other one's going on to like thinking something or wants to speak. And it's quite cool having that connection with someone where you can interview other people or ask other questions, where it's not where we're just in tune basically. So it's pretty cool.
What I love in our relationship that we've built, I can say almost 99.9% ego is not in play there. And think about it as like any relationship you have, you get to a point where your ego is having its volume higher than, and then it's not really you have an argument. And yes, yesterday, for example, I can share that we had some exchange messages which I couldn't understand. And I got a bit frustrated. I'll be honest, because I didn't understand James, and James was meaning something else to what I understood. Yeah, we talked, and then we understood much better each other. And I think in none of this process of James saying something I don't understand, I'm getting frustrated, all of that, ego was in play there. I was not like, oh, I'm so angry. No, it wasn't. It was just like, I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sign of a good relationship, for sure. That's why I think now is a good time to take a little break, rethink you and me of what the growing pair can be as a next level as we continue to grow.
Fabulous. It's so, as we said early in this episode, we invite you to share with us if there is any specific topic you want to discuss, if you want to be a guest on the show, if you can bring something interesting for us to reflect, to learn. I still remember our conversation from our last episode very, very well. I think that was eye-opener in so many ways. But we are open. We are open for new adventures and new areas to explore when it comes to the growing pair.
Yeah, and I think there'll be more ways to get in touch with us than just email. So we're working on that.
Like, share, comment, do whatever it takes to help us grow the growing pair. I feel that we grew as people.
That would be our takeaways. We grew.
We grew. Until we are back, take care and see you very, very soon.
Take care, everyone.